You've spent 30 years climbing towards retirement. Your balance is higher than it's ever been. And yet, in this window, right here, age 60 to 65 is where most retirees make mistakes they don't recover from. Not because they lack the money, but because their guard drops. Sequence of return risks hit. Irma sneaks up on them. A wrong withdrawal order costs them years. I'm going to walk you through the 3 traps clustered in this exact window and the strategies to help you to avoid each one. Now here's what's hard to swallow. I know, you feel safe right now. Your balance, it's at its peak. Everything looks fine. And that feeling of safety is exactly when the danger is the highest. Think about it for a second here. Kind of like mountain climbers. More climbers die coming down than going up the mountain. Not because the mountain got any harder, but their legs got tired. Their focus dropped. Same thing happens in retirement. You finished the climb. You're exhausted from the effort. Your guard comes down. And that's when a single bad year can completely alter your timeline. Back in 2000, the S&P peaked in March. Then it dropped and dropped and dropped again for 3 years straight. Most people think that's bad, but here's where it gets cruel. It didn't just drop. It took 7 years and 2 months just to get back to break even. 7 years. Now, imagine you're 61. You've saved $1.2 million. You've built a retirement plan to retire at 63. Then 2000 hits. Market falls 25%. What happens to your retirement date? It doesn't just stay at 63. If you follow the old 4% rule, you're forced to pull money from accounts that are down 25%. You're pulling from an account that hasn't recovered yet. You just locked in the losses. And now your timeline stretches. Instead of retiring at 63, you're retiring at 68. 5 years. 5 of your best years are gone. That's sequence of returns risk. It's not about the average return over a 30-year period. It's about what the market does when it drops. One bad year at the wrong time costs you more than a decade of good returns can ever fix. Now, here's the gut check question I ask every client in this window. If the market fell 25% this year and stayed down for 3 years, can you still retire the way you want to? But there is a fix, and it's not moving everything to cash. That's a trap on its own. I know, cash feels safe from market volatility, and holding too much creates a hidden danger, though, because you see, inflation quietly erodes at your purchasing power over a 20 or 30-year time horizon. I worked with this client a few years back. Great person. Recent retiree, plenty of money. Had a solid plan on paper. 3 weeks into retirement, he called me. He said, Tim, made a huge mistake. Looked at his portfolio, expecting some sort of collapse there. No, his investments were fine. His returns were on track. His problem wasn't financial. It was structural. He had no life, no rhythm, because work had given him identity for 40 years. And when it disappears, so did he. He was frozen. He wouldn't spend. He wouldn't travel. He had no plan for what Tuesday looks like when there's no 9 o'clock meeting. Just plenty of time and nowhere to put it. This is the part that most financial videos skip. You're not just retiring from a paycheck. You're retiring from an identity, from structure, from a purpose. And if you haven't designed what you're retiring to, the money doesn't matter. It's not on you, because nobody warned you this was coming. Your advisor watched your investments. Your therapist watches your head. Nobody connects the two halves for you, though. And that gap is where panic lives. The fix sounds simple, but before you pull the trigger, build that life vision first. Then do the math to fund it, not the other way around. You need to ask yourself, what does Tuesday look like? Not your vacation Tuesdays, any random Tuesday. What's actually in a week for you? Because activity is the antidote for anxiety. Specific activity, not just reassurance. Now, let's talk about those 3 specific mistakes that cluster in that 60 to 65 window, because all 3 seem to hit at once. All 3 are avoidable. Claiming Social Security at 62 feels like a victory. You've earned it. It's your money. Go ahead, claim it. But here's what happens. That check at 62 is 30% smaller than it would be at your full retirement age. And that's over 43% smaller than if you waited till 70 to claim. That's not a reduction for just 1 year. That's permanent. The IRS has decided that your check is smaller forever. Now, I'm not saying don't claim at 62. For some people, you absolutely should. But the question isn't what maximizes my benefit on some spreadsheet. The real question is, what does Social Security need to do for my plan? Is this replacing a paycheck because you stopped working? Then 62 makes sense. Are you working and want to keep working? Then waiting pays 8% a year, up to 24% at age 70. Hey, that's a raise you ain't going to get anyplace else. Now this one feels safe. The markets can be scary. Volatility's up. So just move to cash. Hey, you're retired now. You don't need that growth stuff. No. Now, while cash feels safe from market volatility, holding too much of it creates a hidden danger for you because inflation quietly erodes at your purchasing power over a 20 to 30-year time horizon. Asset location is just as vital as asset total. It's not just how much you have. It's how the money is split across different accounts. Now, here's where it gets quiet and expensive. You pull from the wrong accounts in the wrong sequence. I know, year 1 feels fine. Your taxes look reasonable. Then year 7, something happens. Maybe you reach age 75 and mandatory required distributions kick in, and that pushes you into a higher tax bracket. Or maybe you turn 65 and Medicare premiums arrive. Your MAGI is too high, and you didn't see it coming because you were so focused on year 1, not on year 7. This is the mistake that even keeps me up at night. Not the investments, the sequence, the order. One wrong withdrawal, and you're paying taxes you didn't plan for. IRMA surcharges you didn't anticipate, and financial aid impacts you never saw coming. All 3 of these mistakes hit at the exact same time, right now, in this window, when stakes and compounding are both at their peaks. Now, I want you to zoom in on one specific age. Age 63. Most people think Medicare matters at 65. That's when you enroll. That's when you start premiums. So 65 must be the year to plan for, right? Wrong. You see, Medicare looks back 2 years. The premium you pay when you enroll at 65 is set by your income at age 63, not your income at 65, 2 years back. This is the rule that nobody connects. You're 63. You decide to do a Roth conversion. You convert $150,000 from your IRA because your income is low and your tax bracket is nearly empty. It's a solid strategy. Pay the taxes from a separate savings account, so the full converted amount goes straight into your Roth IRA. You stick the landing and execute the mechanics correctly. Fast forward 2 years to age 65. You enroll in Medicare and your initial premium bill arrives. Instead of paying the standard couple premium of around $406 a month, your monthly bill jumps to over $800. That's costing you nearly $4,700 a year in extra surcharges. That's what Mike McCracken, president of Wealth Guide Financial, calls the number one mistake he sees. Medicare looks back 2 years at your tax return to calculate IRMA. So you sell in 2005 at age 64, and the capital gain shows up on your 2025 return. It can trigger higher premiums starting in 2027. So here's the thing. The decisions you make at 63, a Roth conversion, a home sale, a big withdrawal, anything that lands on your tax return, those decisions directly set your Medicare costs at 65 to 66. If you're 63 right now, every income decision you make between now and December 31st sets 2 years of Medicare premiums for you. Not 1, 2. That's why this window matters so much. Now here's a real example for you. Had a couple not far from me in the suburbs of Northern Virginia, just outside the Beltway. Been in the same house since the 90s. The home appreciated like crazy during the tech boom. They decided to downsize at age 64 to move closer to the kids. Makes sense. Less maintenance, smaller place, pocket the gains. Sounds great, doesn't it? But here's what they didn't account for. After applying their $500,000 primary residence exclusion, they still have $800,000 in taxable gains. That $800,000 gain hits their 2024 tax return combined with their pensions. Medicare sees that. The IRMA threshold for a married couple filing jointly is $218,000. Oh, they've crossed that threshold by $500,000. Their Medicare premiums jump by about $406 a month to over $800 a month. That's roughly $394 more per month. Over the year, that's over $4,700. Over 2 years, it's nearly $10,000. And here's what makes the mistake painful. Hey, they sold the house. They moved. They're done with that decision. They've moved on mentally. Then, 2 years later, Medicare sends a bill they weren't expecting. Couples like this had no idea it would ever touch their Medicare premiums. The thing that makes this so painful is the 2-year look back. They sell the house, they move on, then 2 years later, Medicare sends a bill they weren't expecting. Now, this couple could have avoided all that. If they had sold the house before age 63, this never happens. Their capital gains hit when they're not yet in the Medicare window. The gains sit in a year that doesn't affect their premiums. Or, if they were already 64 or older, they could have aged in place. Waited until the current year's Medicare costs had been locked in, then sold the following year. Plan around the look back instead of walking into it blindly. Nobody told them to ask that question. Their real estate agent didn't. Their CPA didn't. Their financial advisor might have, but they were never all in the same room together. And this is the gap where the money leaks out. And here's why this gets so complicated. There are 3 separate financial systems all fighting for control of your income at age 63, and they all want opposite things. Income taxes say generate income while your bracket is nearly empty. Roth conversions are cheap. ACA subsidies say keep your magi low or lose $15,000 to $25,000 a year in premium subsidies before you even hit Medicare. And IRMA says stay below $218,000 joint or face a surcharge that starts 2 years from now. A couple with a traditional IRA, $200,000 sitting in a taxable brokerage account, and a $100,000 Roth sitting on ACA coverages faces a direct math problem with no universal answer. Convert more, you lose the subsidy. Don't convert, and you're stuck with traditional distributions at 75 that are forced on you. Sell the house and the capital gains push you over the IRMA cliff. The correct advice depends upon your IRA balance, your life expectancy, your projected income at 75, your current health insurance costs, and variables that simple rules simply can't see. So, the advisor gives correct but incomplete advice. Convert while your income is low is right, but incomplete without the age-specific Medicare layer. That's where the mistake lives. Not in the strategy. It's in the timing. So here's what changes for you. If you're 60 to 61 right now, you have the cleanest window. Conversions land cleanly. Home sales have time before the Medicare window opens. You've got room to move. Now, if you're 62, you're a year away from the critical window. Start now. Plan any big income events before the end of the year or push them past your 65th birthday. Whatever you do, don't straddle that line. If you're 63 right now, stop. Before any income decision for the rest of the year, look at line 11 on your tax return. That's your adjusted gross income line. Add back any tax-exempt municipal bond interest from line 2A. Combine those, that's your magi. And that's what Medicare uses. That number sets your Medicare costs for the next 2 years. Every decision matters now. If you're 64, you're sitting in the second year of Medicare premiums. Same principles apply. The fix isn't complicated. It's just specific. Pull from the right accounts in the right order. Know your MAGI ceiling. Plan around the 2-year look back. Build activity and structure before you pull the trigger. And activity is the antidote for anxiety. Specific activity. This is the gap that most advisors miss something. Your portfolio manager watches your investments. Your CPA is watching your taxes. Nobody owns the space between them, and that's exactly where this lives. Hey, if this is the first time anyone's framed it this way for you, hit like. It helps more people find this. Now, to build a full picture and unlock the right moves for your situation, grab some time on my calendar. We can run through the numbers. Or go ahead and get the financial health score. It's down in the description. About 10 minutes of time, 28 questions. And hey, we are taking on new clients right now, so if you want help with this, we're here for you. And by all means, watch the next video, the retirement tax surprise that nobody warns you about. It's going to show you how to use Roth conversions to lock in today's tax rates and protect your legacy from future increases. I'm Tim Gardner, and I'll see you in the next video.